Welcome to yet another edition of Sweetwater Students Online. We'll start out with famous duos. What is that? Well, there are a lot of famous duos and infamous duos throughout time. And those might involve food, they might involve superheroes, or they might just be two amazing interns who will be joining us at Sweetwater this summer. So let's play. So this famous duo is found living in Bikini Bottom, at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Sounds familiar to me, does it you? Who are we talking about here? Of course, we're talking about SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Star, one of the most brilliant minds. This duo, it's known for its unique names, like Fish Food, or is that Fish Food, and Chubby Hubby. Sounds familiar. I prefer New York Super Fudge Chunk. What are we talking about here? Of course, the legendary ice cream known as Ben and Jerry's. What about this famous duo? They'll be found at Mexican restaurants and many other dining options. What are we talking about here? Why can't you get there that is amazing and goes so great together? Is it chips and salsa? It is chips and salsa. How would I have known? All right, so this famous duo, they marched up a mountain to fetch a bucket of water. I don't remember the song saying they marched, but I'm sure you know who we're talking about, right? Jack and Jill. This famous duo is found in many lunchboxes. What do you think? How about peanut butter and jelly? Are you a grape jelly person or are you a jam person? I, for one, think jam is gross. My family disagrees. Give me jelly every day of the week. What about this famous duo? They attempted to stop a diamond thief once known as Victor Fries. Or is it Freeze? Or is it Fries? Do you know who this is? This one's harder than the other ones, right? Well, let's find out together. Who would have thought? Two winged people, Batman and Robin. Well, actually, cape people, but Robin didn't even get a cape. Does anybody care about Robin? Poor Robin. How about this famous duo? Consists of a gray and white domestic short-haired cat and a small brown mouse. Such an elegant description. Such a classic cartoon. It's Tom and Jerry. How about this famous duo won six, count it, NBA championships while basically owning the NBA throughout the 1990s. You've been bored and needing some TV. ESPN's had quite the documentary on this. Who are we talking about here? We're talking about the GOAT, of course, and the GOAT's sidekick, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Hey, LeBron, just go on home. You can't hold a candle to Michael Jordan. But what about this famous duo? They're found solving mysteries always. Maybe you've had to read about them in a literature class. Maybe you've seen a movie with Robert Downey Jr. in it about this duo. You know what I'm talking about? Of course you do. It's elementary. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. So that was famous duos. But I mentioned earlier that we have a duo who will be famous after they've been here all summer, and that's our Sweetwater Students Summer Interns. I'm going to introduce you to them in just a moment. Are you ready? I want to introduce you to two people that you don't know yet, but you're going to absolutely enjoy getting to know this summer. We get to share life with two amazing interns this summer. So let's meet them. The first of these is a young lady named Emily Hutca. And Emily, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your heart for Jesus?
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Hutca and I'm one of the interns this summer, and I'm super excited to get to meet all of y'all and to get to know y'all. And yeah, I know Corona kind of put a damper on things, but we're gonna make it the best summer ever, and yeah, it's gonna be super fun. So, a little bit about me. My name's Emily, as I said before, and I am 18 years old, almost 19. And I go to College of Coastal Georgia, and I'm studying nonprofit business to go into the ministry. What else do I do? My favorite color is yellow. I am very involved with my college ministry on campus, which takes a lot of my time up. My favorite food is Honey Nut Cheerios. My favorite candy is Reese's. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I'm an Enneagram 7, if anyone knows about that. All my 7s represent. Yeah. So this is my family. These are my people. This is me. This is my dad. This is my mom. And this is my brother and his girlfriend, Jamie. And my little sister. They're so goofy. They make me laugh all the time, and I just love all of them. And yeah, this is my other family member, is my puppy. His name is Finn. He's an Australian Shepherd, and he thinks he's a lap dog, but he's not. And he is just a character. I can't describe this dog to y'all. He is just something else. And this is my best friend, Carly Sue. She is my soul sister. She's my best friend. She's my roommate. She's my partner in crime. Carly Sue. So I'm just going to talk to y'all a little bit about my call to ministry so y'all get to know me. So my family's a foster family. So we have kids coming in and out all the time, and it's so much fun, but it's also so challenging because, again, like, they come in and out, so I have to say goodbye. But I also get to meet so many lovely people and get to know these children, and they come out of such hard times and such hard lives, and to give them a little bit of relief and, you know, safety is such a blessing, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so about 3 years ago, we had a kid come into our house, and this is her. I'll show you a picture. This is her at our dance recital. I can't tell you guys, her name because of privacy reasons or whatever. But, yeah, she was about in my house for about 2 years. And, yeah, so my family is very bold with our faith. We go to church every Sunday. We listen, to Jesus music. We're very, Christian, and which is so great. And I love my mom and my dad for teaching me about him and everything. And so, we don't try to force it on the Fosters, because, they're just, it's just kind of what it is. But this little girl totally got to meet the Lord at our house, and it was amazing. She literally came up to me one day and was like, "Emily, I think I like this Jesus guy." And I'm like, "Oh, do you now?" And she was like, "Yeah, I think I do." And I'm like, "Oh, like, cool, like, me too." And she goes, "I know, like, you love Jesus and I love Jesus." Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And, she goes, "And I feel like he's always going to love me no matter what I do and wherever I go." And I'm like, "Very true." And I just saw this little girl eyes light up, and she completely fell in love with the Lord that day and continued to fall more in love with him. She read her Bible, and for me to be a part of something like that and plant a little seed in this little girl was amazing. And literally in that moment, I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. Like, this is like what I'm here for. Like, this is my calling, is to tell people about Jesus. That's simply it. Simply, I just want, like, this little girl knew nothing about it, and it just shocked me that, like, people don't know him, and people have never even heard his name before. And yeah, so that's about why I'm here and why I'm into ministry, and it didn't happen overnight. I tried to turn and go off course, of course, because teenage life. But God literally took me by the shoulders and pushed me, and yeah. So I'm super excited. I'm so thankful for this opportunity, and yeah, I'm super excited. I've said that like 10 times, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm super excited. Yeah, so I hope to see all of you guys soon, and yeah, bye.
Emily, we're so excited that you'll be with us this summer. Now let's meet our guy intern. You ready for this, guys? This is standing in front of a White Castle, kind of like Emily was standing in front of Amazing Donuts there. They did not know which pictures I would choose for this, by the way, and I just kind of stalked them on Instagram, and well, that's what I found. The great Jaxson Wood. Jaxson, why don't you introduce yourself to the group?
What's up, guys? It's great to finally talk to you guys. Even if it is virtually online, it still counts. So I want to take this opportunity to let you guys get to know me. First, my name is Jaxson. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I go to school there at Columbus State University. Go Cougs. Really like basketball, as you can see. I love music, especially Christian rap. My favorite rapper is Andy Mineo. And I love my dog. He was out here somewhere. I don't know where he went now. We'll find him later. A little bit more about me. I grew up in the church. Like I say, I've been going to church since the womb. But my life really changed when I was 17 and God called me into ministry. That was the summer before my senior year, and then my senior year is when Eric came to my church as a youth pastor. So I got to know him, got to work with him for a year. That's when I knew God really wanted me to go into youth ministry. So that's why I'm doing this. Once I got into college, got involved with some college groups, one at my church, Morningside Baptist. We're like a family there. And then on a campus organization called the Baptist Collegiate Ministries, the BCM. Our goal is to know Christ and to make him known. I've done a bunch of other stuff with that, and the next semester I'll actually be the president. So I'm really excited for the summer and can't wait what it has to hold for us.
So there's a lot of things for me to be excited about this week. The interns, the possibilities of seeing the way we've had to change summer actually work out well. But there's also not very fun things. Last Friday, I went to the dentist and had to have a procedure done on a tooth. And my tongue kind of has a mind of its own sometimes. Weird, huh? And they tell you, keep your tongue relaxed and keep it to the right. It's hard to relax your tongue when there's a saw sawing on your tooth. Well, at least it is for me. My tongue jumped into the blade, and 5 stitches later, I'm talking with a bit of a heavy tongue for a few days until it heals. And that on top of allergies and sinuses, well, it takes a toll. We have weeks when we don't feel our best, don't we? It's hard during those times to be happy, to be nice even to people, to not be grumpy and take our pain and our struggles out on someone else. I was looking in the Bible this morning, actually, as I was thinking, well, I was going to go a whole different direction with what I share this week, and then Psalm 16, as the Psalms often do, just hit me right where I'm at. See, David penned this psalm probably in a time of distress, in a time where he was going through some stuff, and he was in danger a lot of times, sometimes because his sins and his bad choices put him in danger, at other times just because he was a leader of a nation, and that made him a threat to others, and was a threat because others wanted to see him dead and take the throne or take the entire nation. So here's where we pick up in verse 1 of Psalm 16. Keep me safe, O God, for I have come to you for refuge. I said to the Lord, you are my master. Every good thing I have comes from you. The godly people in the land are my true heroes. I take pleasure in them. Troubles multiply for those who chase after other gods. I'll not take part in their sacrifices of blood or even speak the names of their gods. Lord, you alone are my inheritance, my cup of blessing. You guard all that is mine. The land you have given me is a pleasant land. What a wonderful inheritance. I will bless the Lord who guides me. I will not be shaken, for he is right beside me. Now I want to go back to verse 7 because I accidentally skipped a part. I will bless the Lord who guides me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. Now to verse 8. I know the Lord is always with me. I will not be shaken. What? I will not be shaken, for he is right beside me. No wonder my heart is glad and I rejoice. My body rests in safety. For you will not leave my soul among the dead or allow your Holy One to rot in the grave. You will show me the way of life, granting me the joy of your presence and the pleasures of living with you forever. So, although David was in a time of great distress, this psalm comes as there seems to be a settled joy, as my friend David Guzik likes to explain David's mood in this psalm. He has a settled joy. Things are not going the way he would like for them to go. They're not going the comfortable or the easy way, but yet he has joy and peace because he follows Jesus. So let's break it down. Verse 1, keep me safe, O God. That's a great prayer every day, no matter what you do, for I have come to you for refuge. Sadly, a lot of times when I'm in distress, the last place I turn, if I'm really honest, is to God for help. I try to fix it myself and do it myself, and then I finally realize, you know what? I can't, but God can. Verse 2, I said to the Lord, you're my master. Every good thing I have comes from you. You see, every good thing in your life doesn't amount to the latest phone, doesn't amount to the latest fashion trend, and doesn't even amount to having a popular and active social life and success on and off the court. What it amounts to, every good thing, is the eternal things God gives us. He gives us a peace that we can hold on to no matter whether we have 5 stitches in our tongue or we feel great that day. A peace we can hold on to no matter whether someone was mean to us that day or not, or no matter whether we are in great distress and concerned about what the virus or the quarantine or any of those things, what those effects are going to have on my school year next year. God is with us, and every good thing comes from him. The godly people in the land are my true heroes. Verse 3, I take pleasure in them. Who are your heroes? Look at people who seek to honor God no matter what. People with gray or silver hair who maybe don't feel their best anymore because their body's tired, but they're just chomping at the bit to get back to God's house to worship him there. And they're going to put a smile on their face when they see you and encourage you. Look at those people. Those are good faith heroes to have. Troubles multiply for those who chase after other gods. This is verse 4. Troubles multiply for those who chase after other gods. David said, I'm not even going to speak their names or look at them. I'm certainly going to not participate in the activities they do. Our idols today aren't statues. They're the things that take up our time, the things that we think are the most important things in our lives, when in reality, the most important things in our lives are the eternal things found in reading God's Word and a relationship with him, peace through him, a settled joy in times of trouble through him. Verse 5, Lord, you alone are my inheritance, my cup of blessing. You guard all that is mine. The land you have given me, verse 6, is a pleasant land. What a wonderful inheritance. See, that land, that inheritance, that cup of blessing that David talks about, it goes beyond his palace. It goes beyond the nation, the strong nation that he was leading. And what it goes into is something eternal, the fortress of his soul, the inheritance of heaven through knowing Jesus. And that's what you, right now, where you're at, whether you're going into 6th grade or you're going to be a senior or you're going into college and whatever in between, your inheritance, if you know Christ, is in heaven. Your peace is in heaven. And God guards that and protects that. No one can take your relationship with Jesus away from you and your inheritance, your destination of heaven, away from you. Verse 7, I'll bless the Lord who guides me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. At night, when we're laying there, we can think about things, right? I can drive myself insane thinking about all the things that haven't even happened, but imagining what if they do. I can worry, I can have fears, but what about stopping and saying, God, I give you my worries and fears. I give you my future, Teach me now. Show me how you want me to live. My body rests in safety at night, verse 9 says. I love that. No wonder my heart is glad and I rejoice. My body rests in safety. When we follow Jesus and we trust in him, no matter if the environment around us is dangerous or not, we have safety in knowing that even if the body is killed, we have an eternal place with him in heaven and healing. Now, for some reason, verse 8, I keep jumping over the part where it says this awesome statement here, I will not be shaken. Why will David not be shaken? Because he knows that Jesus Christ, his God, is right beside him. Do you realize that today for yourself, that if you trust him and you just look and listen and watch and react in the way he would want you to watch and listen to react to the situations you'll face, then you'll see that he's right beside you and he's nudging you in the right direction, encouraging you, cheering you on, saying, choose me, not the world. Choose me, not idols. Decide like I would decide. And now we go to verse 10, for you won't leave my soul among the dead or allow your Holy One to rot in the grave. Now, when we as Christians are at the end of our lives, our bodies may go into the grave, but our souls go to God for eternity. There's no greater plan than that. And now in perfect timing, as I wrap things up, the lawn crew is weed eating loudly outside, if you hear that sound. But you know what? We're not going to let that deter us. Verse 11, you will show me the way of life. What is the way of life? That's John 14:6. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Luke 9:23, Jesus says, if anyone wants to come after me, deny yourself. And put Jesus first in every decision. Take up your cross. You know what happens when we put Jesus first in our decisions? It can cause strife and pain because it goes against the world, and it might cause us to go down a path that we didn't really want to go on, but God knows is the best path, and that might cause pain. Taking up your cross, just like Jesus carrying that heavy cross while they were mocking and beating and spitting on him, carrying his own cross to where they would put him on it. Temporary, by the way. 3 days later, he rose from the grave. But carry your cross and follow him. Don't try to get ahead. Don't try to make decisions for yourself. Pause, stop, ask God for help. He will show you the way of life. He'll grant you joy, as verse 11 says. He'll grant you the joy of his presence. And he'll grant you the pleasures of being able to live with him forever. Now, it's hard when you're young to be heaven and kingdom focused and future focused when it comes to what happens after this life. I want you to have an amazing time in your teenage years, but I want you to focus on Christ and make those hard decisions, to do hard things, to choose, to decide that no matter how it affects my social life, how it affects my career path, how it affects my dating life, or anything like that, when I think I know better than God, I want to actually say, God, this is yours. God, my dating life is yours. God, my friendships are yours. God, my future is yours. My sports teams, my arts groups, my hobbies, my video game life, my coding life. The list goes on and on. God, my Instagram account is yours. And when you do that, when trouble comes, you will find that if you've truly surrendered everything to God, that you, like David here, will have a settled joy, even in the midst of adversity. God bless you.
I count on one thing: the same God that never fails will not fail me now. You won't fail me now in the waiting. The same God that's never late, he's working all things out. He's working all things out. Oh yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will. I count on one thing: the same God that never fails will not fail me now. You won't fail me now. In the waiting, the same God that's never late. He's working all things out. He's working all things out. Oh yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will for all my days. Oh yes, I will, and I choose to praise and to glorify the name of all names. No, nothing can stand against, and I choose to pray to glorify the name of all names. No, nothing can stand against. Oh yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy.